Hello, welcome back for another video. Today we're looking at 40 new things, features, additions in ARK Survival Ascended. Let's get straight into it. And to begin the video, we have a super awesome feature. So in this video clip, you can see I've got all my shiny industrial structures on top of this ceiling. The only thing supporting the ceiling is this singular row of walls. And back on ARK, if I demolish these walls, I would lose every single structure placed on top of the ceiling, including the ceilings. But if we demolish this wall or pick it up, it goes straight into our inventory. So we've lost none of those expensive structures, and we haven't been shafted for making a mistake of demolishing the wrong wall. Moving on, which probably doesn't come as a surprise, after placing down any structure, you can now pick it up whenever you want to. Whereas before on ARK, you'd only have a short window to pick it up before having to demolish it. This is a very welcoming change. You can now access any shoulder pet's inventory while they are perched on your shoulder. This is done by holding R on PC or by holding X or square on an Xbox and PlayStation controller. This could only be done with the Sonoba crops in ARK Survival Evolved, so this change is amazing. Most structures built inside the snow biome will now be covered in actual snow. Just seeing this makes me want to build in the snow. Pretty simple, but sometimes those simple things can make us happy. Auto turrets can now be placed upside down underneath ceilings or on the side of walls. I don't play PvP, but I'm sure this could be beneficial in some sort of way. Tree platforms now have snap points where you can snap your walls around the whole circumference of the tree platform, making it look super nice and flush. Dung beetles now have an ability where they can collect feces for you. And to do this, go up to your dung beetle and hold the access key and enable feces collection. Every time a nearby tame creature poops, the dung beetle will collect it in its inventory, but you will still have to enable wandering for it to convert it to fertilizer. As of now, it does appear that they can excessively over-encumber themselves with feces. I'm not sure if that'll change. Either way, this change was a much needed change. The Oviraptor also received a mini TLC update, just like the dung beetle, where it can now automatically pick up fertilized and non-fertilized eggs. This works the exact same way as the dung beetle by enabling egg collection, where you have the option of selecting both fertilized and non-fertilized eggs, or just selecting one of them. Be sure to have raw meat in its inventory, otherwise it will be gobbling up your fertilized eggs, and you don't want that. A tree sap tap will now produce up to 30 sap before capping out, whereas in ARK Survival Evolved it would cap out at 20. You can now pretty much paint anything and everything in ARK. For example, a lot of the crafting stations like the fabricator, smithy, just to name a few, beds or generators, you couldn't paint any of these before, but now you can with their own selected regions, all contributing to your base looking rather colourful and cheerful. When placing structures, we now have the option to either freely place them wherever we want or by using the snap option. This is extremely helpful when placing certain structures. Now we can place rows of storage boxes, vaults and refrigerators without having to worry about them being off center or sticking through the wall. There are now less building pieces to learn via your engrams. For example, when you craft a wall, you can now scroll through the variety of building pieces. So with the wall, you can convert them to window frames, door frames, or just the standard wall itself, making building a whole lot easier. Quarter walls and quarter ceilings have been added to the game. I'm no builder by any means. I'm sure they will add a nice touch to any building project. These new building mechanics and pieces are going to be so helpful for me. When dropping items onto the floor or using a method known as popcorning items, your character can now throw those packages much further. These packages, when thrown down on an uneven surface, are very well known to roll all over the place, but now you can literally throw them down a cliff and they won't budge one bit. Wild dinosaurs and creatures now roam around with babies, and these can actually be tamed, which is a massive game changer, as you don't even need kibble or preferred foods to tame them. Once the parent of that baby has been killed, you can instantly tame that baby and claim it for yourself. Now this is one of the best new features of ASA, in my opinion, the ammo switching wheel. While having your weapon equipped, to access the wheel, hold R on PC or X and square on Xbox and PS4 controllers. This will bring up an ammo and attachment wheel, where you can quickly access the ammo types and switch to them straight away. You can also use this wheel to craft certain ammo types in your inventory if you have the resources to do so. And of course, if you equip a weapon with a variety of different attachments, the pistol is a perfect example. So you can switch to a flashlight, a scope, a silencer, ammo types, anything you want. It's a beautiful feature. When facing or accessing accessing any device which consumes fuel over time. For example, the campfire requires a burning source. We can now view how long that source will burn for. Another example being the generator. Once you stick your gas inside and turn it on, you will also be able to view how long your electrical appliances will be powered for with the amount of gasoline inside the generator. So electrical outlets and cables, they're completely gone. All you need to power your electrical appliances these days is a power generator. Once equipped and ready to place, a range radius will now be visible on screen. This indicates the power range of the generator. Anything placed inside the radius will be automatically powered. Once placed down, all you need is gasoline to run it, of course. Once turned on, everything in the radius will be powered, leading us on perfectly to the next feature, which is the majority of appliances do not need gasoline to run anymore. So back on ASE, you pretty much needed gasoline to run everything. The fabricator, chemistry bench, industrial cooker, just to name a few. But now all you need is these to be placed within the radius of a power generator, and they will all run without gasoline. I'm one of those people that would leave my appliances on 24/7 and just waste gasoline like there's no tomorrow. Oops, now Captain Fat Dog knows who left the fabricator on during Monarchy Season 3 Scorched Earth. Well, I'm not going to have that problem anymore, am I? Irrigating appliances has also completely changed in ASA. As in ASE, you would have to place your intake and build a load of water pipes connected to your appliances to fully irrigate them. All you need in ASA is an intake placed in water. It works the exact same way as the generator. Once selected, you'll see the irrigation radius, so anything placed within the radius will be irrigated without the need of any extra pipes. You can also add a number of water tanks within that radius to extend the range of your water supply, giving you a larger range to play around with. You can now cook meat inside a fireplace, which might not seem like a big deal, but you could never do that in ARK before. The movement speed stat for players and creatures is now long gone. It can, however, be turned on in your single player settings if you are missing the need for speed. I'm honestly loving this change though. Surely this means that when we tame creatures, we aren't going to get a bunch of points wasted into the movement speed stat. Wireless crafting is a brand new feature where you can craft items from crafting stations without having to run around your base grabbing all the resources to do so. To do this, you will need tech dedicated storage boxes with all your resources inside. All you have to do is access them and make sure you have wireless crafting enabled. You can see in my dedicated storage, I've got cementing paste in one and metal ingots in the other. So I'm going to now use the smithy, which has nothing in the inventory at all. I can just click on the metal walls and craft as many as I want, which will automatically pull it from the tech dedicated storage boxes. And this will work with any crafting station, the smithy, fabricator, tech replicator, and many other crafting stations. When tabbing into the command console, it now has a predictive text feature and might save your fingers a little bit of punishment when typing out those annoying admin commands. Chibi pets no longer fill the offhand slot in your inventory. So in ARK Survival Evolved, this was never a thing. If you wanted to equip yourself a shield and a chibi at the same time, there's just no option to do that. The chibi was always equipped in the offhand slot, and so was a shield, for example. The chibis now have their own slot to be equipped to, which is found when accessing your inventory. You can see it at the base of your character screen. This is a very welcoming change, I must say. You can now track up to 3 recipes at the same time. To do so, access your inventory, hover above the recipe or engram that you want to craft. This will tell you if you have the stuff in your inventory to craft them, or you can just use them as a reminder to what you need to craft certain recipes, instead of constantly hopping onto the ARK wiki page to check the recipe ingredients. Underwater vacuum compartments have had a massive cosmetic change, adding many more customizable options, where you can either fill the compartment with water, empty it of water, or even make the panels invisible, which does look pretty cool, I must say. There is now an option to kill yourself instantly and be able to respawn. This is done by hovering over your specimen implant for 5 seconds. I can see this being helpful in many different ways. And finally, we have one of the things that make ARK so much fun, which is mods. And now they are available for everyone, including console once they get this game. No need to use Steam to download your mods anymore. Just go onto the mods section on the main menu and you can download your mods there. So far, we have a bunch of creatures and cool dinosaurs to choose from, and also the Svartalfheim map created by Nocartus. I must say I haven't played it yet, but from what I've seen it looks amazing. And to activate the mods, go into your created game, clicking on mod settings, and this is where you can activate or deactivate your installed mods. So a new feature was added where you can quickly access the whole of your inventory on your hotbar. This is done by holding Q on PC or holding LB and up on the D-pad on Xbox controller, and I believe L1 and up on D-pad for a PlayStation controller. And and now you can use the button prompts to skip to the next page of your inventory items. Of course, by nature, not every item can go onto a hotbar, and when you're done with it, press the same keys, which will revert you back to your standard hotbar. Struggling to see clearly now in ASA? Well, there's now a new belt slot option where you can equip your torch to, and light yourself up like a Christmas tree. I'm not too sure that's a good location for an open flame. And while on the subject of torches, you can now customize the color of the light emitted by a torch to any color that tickles your fancy, which can be done by coloring the correct region inside the cosmetics and paint menu in your inventory. How cool is that? In turn, this also works the same with standard torches, wall torches, and lampposts. Everyone's favorite part of ARK, and that is creating ourselves and making ourselves look beautiful, or in most cases, as deformed as possible. And in this new game, there are plenty of customizable features that can achieve this for you, ranging from even customizing every single muscle on your body to make yourself look buff or absolutely weak. You can now customize your hairstyle and hair length, and even change the sound of your voice, just in case you feel like you need to make yourself more intimidating. There's now an option to customize the camera zoom levels when in third person riding a creature by holding the left alt key on PC or holding the back button on Xbox, and I believe the select button on PlayStation controller. You can now zoom in closer or zoom out further, adjusting it to your liking. The tech binoculars have received a massive update, kind of making it like the awesome Spyglass mod. While having it equipped, you can now view every wild creature's stats and any information you need to know about them before considering taming them. This way you'll know if the creature has good base stats and if they're worth taming or not. You can also track these creatures, which will show them on the minimap. Of course, they're great for scoping out areas that you don't want to get too close to, with the ability to zoom into great distances. You could also use the binoculars in the exact same way for structures, being able to scope those out in detail too, being able to see the health from a distance or track structures the same way that you can with creatures. Bowlers and chain bowlers now have a visible icon indicating whether that creature can be bowlered or not bowlered. The green icon means the creature can be bowlered, the red icon means the creature cannot be bowlered, and once you have a creature bowlered, it will show up yellow. Once that creature is free, it will still show up yellow, indicating that there is a cooldown until you can re-bowler that creature. There is now an in-game waypoint tracker system and ping system. It's really nice to see that ARK has finally caught up to the numerous amount of games that implement features like this. To use a waypoint, you go into your inventory and then go onto the map icon at the top of your screen. There is the option to pick a waypoint. This is where you can customize it to your liking, give it a name, change the coordinates, or customize the color, for example. Click accept and the icon will show up on your map. You can then click this icon to enable the tracker. It's kind of like how the taming tracker works, but you can do it with any waypoint that you pick. Adding on to this, the taming tracker has also had a nice rework, where you can still track the creatures that you're taming, but you can also track every creature that you own in your tribe. To access this, go to the tracking tab in your inventory, and to track any creature, find them on the list of creatures, then select to add POI. You'll now be able to track your beloved creature from wherever you are on the map, which also includes your tribe mates if you want to figure out where they're off to. I cannot stress how good this feature is. I know we've all been there, you've lost your creatures and you have no idea where they've gone. Well, with this feature you ain't gonna lose them anymore, or your tribe mates for that matter. We also have a new in-game ping system. To access the ping commands, click and hold the middle mouse button, or if you're playing on Xbox controller like me, hold left bumper and right bumper together, and this is the wheel selection. Once you select a ping from the wheel, it will show in game where your tribe mates can also see this ping and they know what you're up to, if for some reason you don't want to talk to them, that is. Supply beacons and loot crates have changed immensely. First of all, they look completely different, and second of all, it seems the loot tables have completely changed when compared to ARK Survival Evolved. The majority of them tend to drop high tier loot, blueprints and consumable items. The loot quality currently seems to be pretty OP, so I'm pretty sure that's going to change very soon. However, if you'd like a glimpse of what drops give certain items, check out my previous video where I explore them in depth. There is now an awesome new feature that is photo mode, which can be accessed via the start menu, which when selected will completely freeze the game for you, where you can freely move the camera around and take yourself some beautiful screenshots. I'm still on the fence about it. I loved using NVIDIA Ansel with ARK Survival Evolved, and I feel like this one's a little more complicated. But for people that didn't have access to NVIDIA Ansel, this feature is amazing. There's so many customizable options to choose from, but have no fear, my mate Vino has made probably the best tutorial you could ever see functionality on this feature. So if you are struggling to get to grips with this feature, be sure to check out that video. It helped me out massively. I'll stick a link in the description of the video and in a pinned comment. And that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. These videos do take me a very long time to put together and edit. I really appreciate it if you'd hit that like and subscribe for more ARK content like this. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.